Wings over the mountains by Baghdad and the Dead Sea. 3 planes from the supreme headquarters of Britain, the United States and the USSR bring to the capital of Persia the leaders of the war against Germany. This is for the 3-way conference so long expected, so often postponed. For the few days, Tehran becomes the center and focus of the world. Soon after the war began, British and Red Army soldiers joined hands here in Iran. It was the only land communication we had. It was fitting that this first meeting of Churchill, Roosevelt and Stalin should be here. The embassies and legations used for the meetings were closely guarded. The German intelligence service had guessed that the meeting was taking place. How much importance Hitler attaches to the meeting may be judged from the fact that he is at such pains to point out that it is not important. The growth of Allied strength and the confidence we have in the future may also be judged from the outstanding fact that Hitler's meetings no longer worry us. You will recognize many familiar figures on this great world stage. Anthony Eden, with him Sir Alexander Cadogan, Permanent Chief of the Foreign Office, and Sir Archibald Clark Carr, British Ambassador to the Soviet Union. This is Marshal Voroshilov, Soviet Commissar for Defense. At the Soviet Embassy on the 4th day, a special ceremony was planned. It was not concerned with the future, but with the glorious past. Mr. Churchill was to present to Marshal Stalin the Stalingrad sword, the gift from our king on behalf of all the peoples of the British Empire to the heroic defenders of the great steel city in southern Russia. Acknowledgement of the most gallant and most desperate stand in all this war, the victory snatched defeat which turned the tide of fortune against the German invaders. Behind the sword bearer, who unfortunately obscures the camera's view, you may see how Stalin kissed the Sword of Honor. Chiefs of Britain's Royal Air Force, Army and Navy were of course present for the staff talks, and many other high-ranking staff officers of all 3 nations whose business it is to devise the plans whereby the fighting men may finish the war most quickly. We are no longer concerned with the question of how to win the war. The question is, how soon? Churchill is obviously in good spirits about it as he stands here chatting with the young Shah of Persia. This 3-power conference ran over a date with another special significance. It was the Premier's 69th birthday, and Mr. Churchill wore the uniform of the 4th Hussars for the occasion, inspecting men of the Persia and Iraq Command. They had clubbed together to present him with these gifts, which were handed to him by non-commissioned officers of the regiments represented. After the presentation, the Prime Minister told the troops to come closer, and they did. The conference ended as all big conferences do, with groups posed for the benefit of newsreel and press. Superficially, they always seem very much the same kind of picture, but it requires very little imagination to read into the lines behind the picture. This one stands for the attempts by the 3 greatest nations fighting Germany to reach common ground and understanding, to act as allies should, to deliver the most telling blows at the enemy in the most vital places at the right time. These pictures stand for the hope that we all feel that doubt and suspicion on which tragedy and bloodshed feed should be removed once for all. The man in the street does not expect to know what is said in the secret consultations of his leaders. He can only judge by present appearances and results to come. Present appearances suggest that the men who guide our destiny have found the common factor that will bring victory and follow it with peace. That is the best we can hope for, and the least we have a right to expect.